Nerdy Scribbler. What is going on, my scribblings? This is your host, Anthony D'Elia, welcoming you back to the Nerdy Scribbler. Today I'll be continuing the Pokemon Cuties and Creepies series, but before we begin, I just want to remind you to tackle the like button, let me hear your hyper voice in the comments, and believe it or not, follow me by subscribbling to the channel or over on Patreon. So let's hop right into the video with Cleffa. I really like the hands reaching towards her mouth in the original picture, so I decided to make use of the pose in its monstrous form. I have her hands reaching into its mouth and pulling it wide open to show off its horrible teeth. And I gave it these sad eyes like it's begging to be fed even though it is clearly eaten due to its blobby appearance. I know it has ears, but I wanted to take some artistic liberties and give it horns instead. The horns plus the curly Q turning into a spiky twist remind me of a Jonan Vasquez type style. I wanted Cleffa to look like it has a large weight to it, so I made it wider towards the bottom and it had its tail really flop behind it. For the shading, I just used cell shading around its mouth and body so it looks like it has a lot of folds. Grab its Cleffa flaps, squeeze its holy folds. So this next one is kind of cheating since it's already pretty creepy, but I would argue that it still falls into the cutie category. Espurr has these piercing eyes that are so perfectly circular they look uncanny. So since Espurr falls into both categories, I decided to have Espurr remain the same, but give it a frightening shadow. When you're drawing something and you want it to look eerily still, give it an upright pose and make it symmetrical. So that's what I did here. I drew one half of the drawing I wanted, and then I copied and pasted and flipped the canvas so Espurr and its shadow would be very symmetrical, except for its top hairs. I wanted to give Espurr its psychic abilities, so I have its shadow bearing the mind's eye and having it more saturated pink than its regular eyes, like it's peering into your very existence. And for its background, I just had a tall purple rectangle to complement it. Next we have Sheldor! I always like the way Sheldor screams its names in the anime. Sheldor is so dang cute, I had a hard time coming up with how to make it creepy looking. I decided to go back to its black orb body and make it appear as if it's trying to escape from the clam. So I gave it these really skinny arms, which I think make it look very unsettling. And I attached veins from the top of its head to the top of the clam's mouth to give it an organic look. The clam itself is very spiky and almost looks like it could scuttle really quickly just by wobbling back and forth. And of course Sheldor's tongue is present and really the focus with its grotesquely long appearance and slimy drool. I really like the idea that Sheldor is just some victim forced to ride around in this clam and gather food for it with its big stupid tongue. But really it has a taste for freedom. Next up is Mann Tyke. I was originally planning to have Mann Tyke dwelling under some kind of rock, but I felt that was way overdone by so many creepy oceanic creatures. Also, I wanted to show off Mann Tyke's back since it has a happy face pattern. So here, I did the same thing with Espurr and gave it the old symmetry treatment. Its antenna was so perfect, I felt that it needed to be symmetrical. Since Mantyke have these little underlashes, I turned mine into under-eye drippings, almost like oily tears from having its eyes so wide open for so long. And I gave it this gross Joker mouth as if it's trying to mimic the twisted grin on its back. For his coloring, I gave him darker colors than his counterpart and used the shading to make it look slick and smooth. I had a hard time deciding what to do with its background, but then I just settled for a cool blue color to complement its affiliation to the ocean. Finally, we have Pachirisu. I gave Pachirisu the scrawny squirrel look. I gave it these big eyes and a you caught me kind of expression. I decided to implement some props into this one and gave it a human hand to gnaw on. I really liked the back to the audience look where I could show off its most prominent feature, its tail. Here the tail is worn and has a lot of hair loss as if it has been in multiple scuffles. Its tail spikes are heightened and look gnarly, and the lightning coming from them was used to actually frame the picture, but it also looks complimenting and purposeful as it chars the hand in the picture. I didn't want to repeat the shading that I did in my other video with Pikachu, so I decided to just outline it with its base colors and then give shadow to its middle. Also, as you probably noticed, I changed the eye to black, which almost gives it a rabid quality. I think it looks fitting for a lightning squirrel to look a little feral. So that wraps up another episode of Pokemon Cuties and Creepies. Let me know in the comments below what other Pokemon you want me to grotesquify, or what other series you want me to draw as monsters. Be sure to give the video a like, and if you want to stay up to date on all Nerdy Scribbler content, be sure to subscribble. Ta-ta for now!